Entrepreneurship sucks when you fail to develop yourself. So everybody, I got this business plan from this guy today. Great guy. It is a longer, more detailed business plan than I put together for companies that have generated billions of dollars in revenue. Like, it's more detailed. And the reality is that he's so worried about developing the analytics. He's so worried about developing the scheduling. Now, don't get me wrong, those things are all really important. But if you don't develop you, it doesn't matter. Then your entrepreneurship will suck when you are an employee with an employee mindset trying to be an entrepreneur. You're in charge, but you're acting like you're not. So you give me this long, detailed, structured, oh my God, take you years to figure it out because you're trying to make yourself an employee again. When you're an employee, you don't need to develop yourself. Sorry, I've had jobs since I was 14 years of age. When I was at McDonald's putting the fries in, I did not need to develop a better attitude. When I was at UPS and the shift started, I had to unload packages, I did not need to be a better version of myself. I'm sorry, I did not. When I drove the truck, put the brown uniform on, I did not need to be a better version of myself. When I worked in like parole, child protective services, been a social worker, it was more enjoyable, but I had a job. I showed up, they're like, here are your 12 cases. I knew what to do. I called the people up. I know what to say. I know what intake forms to fill out. I had a job. When you are an entrepreneur, you have to develop you because your skill set has to continue to get better. Then you will be able to develop people. If you're an entrepreneur or you want to be one or aspiring one, or you say you are one, and you don't have the ability to develop yourself, you're not going to develop anybody else. How do you develop anybody else if you can't develop you? It's about building people. Businesses in sales and what I've done, real estate, waste management, life insurance, low barrier of entry, anybody can get in. 350 million people in America, well over half of them say they need a they live check to check, need a second job to get by. That's not hard to go ahead and build something, but you've got to build you to build other people. But I'm telling you, as sure as I'm sitting here, if you choose to be an entrepreneur, yet you're like, man, I can't wait to have 7,200 rules like at my job. I just want to follow rules, and that's all I want to do on a daily basis. I'm not going to worry about developing myself. I'm not going to worry about developing other people. Entrepreneurship is going to suck for you. The reason I've watched so many people fail in entrepreneurship, and people should be honest with each other, it's not for everybody. And if you are looking for a job, you want, and I'm not in any capacity speaking, I'm not being condescending. I'm not marginalizing. I'm not speaking down to. I've had jobs my whole life. There's nothing wrong with that. I got to a point where I didn't want jobs anymore. I became an entrepreneur. But I did that because I hated working my jobs. There's nothing wrong with loving your job. And maybe you have a full-time job and you're an entrepreneur on the side. Cool. But if you thoroughly enjoy the structure of, the predictability of, and you don't want the risk and you don't want to develop you, you're never going to develop other people, keep your job. And anybody that says to you, don't worry about it, you don't have to love it, you'll be good, quit your job, jobs are evil, those people are evil. I tell people all the time, dude, I'd keep my job if I was you. But why? Because you want a job. How do you know? Because you don't begin to want to develop yourself as a person. You're not going to be a successful entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship will suck if you don't develop you because you can't develop anybody else. If that describes you, keep your job. And there's nothing wrong with it. If somebody on the internet talks down to you, runs their mouth, or says anything to be negative about you working your job, that makes them a judgmental asshole. And the reality is, the good news about the internet, they're probably lying anyway. They probably ain't got no money anyway. They're just talking junk. They're fake entrepreneurs. Fake entrepreneurs are guys and girls that say they're entrepreneurs that don't make any money. So don't let nobody judge you. If you hate working, you hate the schedule, you hate being told what to do, maybe you should become an entrepreneur. If you go, dude, I really don't hate that, but I want something on the side. Good, do something on the side, but keep your job. But if you're like, dude, I really like my job, and I'm really growing in my job, then keep your job. There's way too many people out there telling you what you should and shouldn't do. And when they go like, well, you need all the freedom. What are you going to do with a lot of time during the week anyway? But entrepreneurship is going to suck if you can't develop you. You'll never develop other people.